Good morning, I'm Benj and this is Doing Outdoors. We've got a task today and that's to try and sort out the rainwater harvesting off this greenhouse. I set it up last year and at the minute only one side of the guttering flows into the IBC. This side flows into a bucket, the purple bucket down there. Now as you can tell, the water's flowing the wrong way. It should all be flowing off the back, but over the year the stones that I propped the base up on have sunk into the ground. In fact, the other side of the greenhouse doesn't flow forward, but it doesn't flow back. That's almost perfectly level. So I've got to get some angle iron today, cut it down into some stakes and peg it down at each corner. Then once that's at a stable point, I'll be able to jack the greenhouse up and put fixings through this angle iron into the base of the greenhouse, ensuring the correct angle or the correct fall for the rain to come to the back. Once I've managed that, we'll get some more guttering off this side and run that to the IBC as well. So just to show you how badly out this greenhouse is with the spirit level, when I can find it. When I originally set this up, it was leaning back perfectly, but like I say, the stones that it was wedged up on have sunk in the ground. And I think you can see there the bubble is far to the right and it needs to be far to the left, making the water run off to the back. And just down here, they're the lengths of angle iron that I've got. We've got battery angle grinder, sledgehammer, impact gun and some tech screws knocking about, and that is all we need to get this job done, apart from some guttering. You can see down here the pieces of broken slab that I stacked. I stacked them up to get the correct level for the rainfall to go off the back, but like I say, the weight of the greenhouse has pushed those into the surface of the ground. So we'll clear those. We can get the angle iron and drive it down tight to the corner. I've cut these at about 1 metre because I don't actually know how far we're going to have to bang it in until we get a firm hold. There's no point poking it in 6 inches and trying to support it just in the clay. There is a layer of stone down here. When we fitted the corner posts to the pig pen, it was about 18 inches below the ground. There was a layer of this stone. So if we can rest it on that or just penetrate into it a little bit, I think that will give us a sturdy point, and then we can jack this greenhouse up. Well, that has just gone solid, and again I think we've gone down about 18, maybe 20 inches, and I believe that now to be sat on this bed of rock. We'll get a few more taps, see if it will go any further. In some instances, when I dug the post holes for the pig pen, this bed of rock was sometimes 100mm thick. The deepest was about, I don't know, 300, 400mm thick. So it will give us a definite sturdy hold that we can rest the weight of this greenhouse on. And another benefit is that it'll also stop this greenhouse blowing away when we get strong winds. Right, I'm happy with that. I'll go and get my wrecking bar. Now, it's always a little bit dangerous jacking a greenhouse that's fully glazed, There's a chance that we might break a pane or two here, but it's got to get done. We can't have all the water running off to nowhere. So this is when you could do with a second pair of hands. Let's just check the level. Now that's a little bit more like it. Now the water should all flow down to the IBC. Put a couple more fixings in. Right, so we can take the bar away now. That greenhouse is all supporting on that one screw. So we'll quickly get another one this side. And now we can remove these pieces of stone. Because that is all being supported now on this stake. And so far, all the panes of glass are intact. So we're going to do exactly the same on this side, but this has got to go up considerably higher than that one. I think this has actually fallen off of its stones that it was sat on. Well, I think that's done the trick. Right, so we have a bit of stone under there. Taking the weight, we'll get the spirit level on, see how she looks. Well, I've just checked with the spirit level and she's got to go up probably another inch yet. So I've got another piece of stone, see if we can go up a bit further. Let's check this. The bubble nicely up to the left. So that means water's going to be flowing off the back where it should. Job is good. So there we have it. That wasn't too difficult after all. I've been putting that job off for a long time. I thought it was going to be a two-man job, but we got round it. But we have now got a decent fall on both the left and the right side of this greenhouse, and it's even level across the front, which it wasn't before. It was really out of shape. But we are left with a bit of a gap around the base. But like I say, I'll just get some wood chip. I'm going to make a wood chip path out the front anyway. I won't put wood chip this side because I'm potentially going to build another greenhouse on the side of this. Build this greenhouse 8 foot away from it and then use some polycarbonate sheet to fill the gap to make a greenhouse between the two. But at least for now, we're going to have all water running off to the back. We just need to now find some guttering and figure out the best way to get that to go into that same IBC. So just how we've pegged the front of this greenhouse down, whilst I've got all the kit out, I'm going to put 2 pegs down the back corners. Obviously they don't need jacking up because we do want the water to flow this end, but it's just going to be to keep it secure just in case we get some really strong winds. We are on top of a hill here. The westerly winds come from the open field, so we do get battered by some winds from time to time. So I've already cut some pieces of the angle iron but I've cut them a little bit shorter because they only need to go just onto that stone, and I'll screw those to the metal base and the greenhouse will be fully secure. And what I would like to say is a big thank you to all the people that took part in the survey that I put out over the weekend. Just wanted to put the feelers out there just to make sure I'm making the right kind of content that people have come to the channel to see, as I'm trying to make a self-sufficient life up here. It does take up a lot of time, so ultimately it would be nice to think that I could give up work and survive off what I produce on here, and maybe a little help from YouTube paying me for playing the adverts on my videos. Well, that's already hitting the bedrock, and to be honest with you, I was quite happy with the response that I got from the survey. I was only expecting maybe 20 people to get involved, but I've had nearly 40 as of this morning, so really pleased with that. And I think I'm safe to say that just doing what I'm doing is enough. Maybe a little bit more surrounding some off-grid services and an off-grid cabin. And we might actually get to witness the rain falling off this greenhouse in the right direction sooner than I thought, because it's gone a bit grey over, so we might get a bit of a downpour in a minute. So I need to pull my finger out, get this finished, and then at least I can hide in the greenhouse if it does. And I keep talking about this bedrock, and it's actually called cement rock. All along this ridge, we're on the top of a ridge, and down the other end there's a gypsum mine. British Gypsum take a lot of gypsum out the ground, and they are actually mining almost up until my boundary at the far end. And I was concerned that I didn't own the mineral rights and perhaps they would come and mine under here, but I do in fact own the mineral rights, and from a survey they've done, British Gypsum, this is non-mineable grade gypsum turning into cement rock, so we're quite safe that we're not going to get a load of tunnels dug underneath us. Now we need to do the guttering. What's up, the moo? What's up? They're getting quite friendly, these cows, but it is spotting a bit. I'd like to have a bit of a downpour just to check we're right with this greenhouse, but if it don't come today, it's definitely going to come tomorrow. Well, I think that will just about do the job, and it is raining and water's coming into this guttering, and it is coming this way very, very slowly. So I need to now get a bit of string, tie it round here the best I can, and at least for the next couple of days whilst I'm waiting for my gutter extensions to turn up, I'll still be catching the water that we need. It don't look pretty, but it will certainly do the job. Successful job. I know it's going to rain nearly all day tomorrow, so I'm hoping that this IBC is going to catch a lot of rainwater. Like I've said earlier, we're using a lot of water in the greenhouse at the minute, starting off a lot of seeds. Also the potatoes that we've got, they are drying out quite quickly in a greenhouse, as you'd expect, so they're taking quite a bit of water. But at least now I've got the best chance of collecting all of the rainwater that lands on the greenhouse roof. You can see it dripping in on this side, pool of water down this end and dry up the top end. Well, I'm pleased with that. Like I said before, I've been putting this job off since I built the thing, which is this time last year. Although it's not a proper decent job, it's going to collect me some water. But before I knock off for today, I'm going to get a few barrow loads of wood chipped round and just build a bit of a pathway in front of the door, try and block off part of that gap that we've created by jacking the front end up. But all in all, a good job. Well, that's about as much as I can do for the greenhouse today. And now the sun's come out, I'm going to get on with a couple more jobs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in on those big piles of rotten wood chip and sieve a load of that, because I'm going to need a lot of material to set up my no-dig bed. And also, I think this is the only real good sunshine we're going to get this week. So I'm going to get into the apiary and I'm going to add a super onto each one of those hives, just so they've got enough room. They seem to have a lot of stores and I don't want them to be honey bound and have nowhere for the queen to lay her eggs and bring the brood on. So I'm going to go and do that while the sun's shining. The cows are shouting for some hay. But as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate the subscribes and the questions, and I'll see you next time.